1 year ago, I posted a short video showing fish with visible bone deformities, a clear sign of poor nutrition. Most people don't realize this, but fish get their calcium and essential minerals from what they eat, not from the water. After realizing that most commercial fish foods are seriously lacking in quality, I decided to take matters into my own hands. Using the latest research from the world of aquaculture, where fish health directly impacts profit, and with help from artificial intelligence, I created my own advanced fish food formula. Even though brands like Hikari offer great options, I wanted to go further and make something truly optimized for fish health. By the end, we'll have 500 grams of high quality fish food at roughly half the price of Hikari, the only brand I truly take seriously. Key supplements like vitamin C and K2MK have been added, along with probiotic bacteria commonly used in aquaculture to support digestion and immunity. As you can see in this video, the fish genuinely enjoy the food, showing high palatability, and none of them show any signs of deformities. Now I'll guide you step by step on how to create the perfect fish food, which can be crushed into micro pellets or shaped into small sinking discs for bottom feeding fish. As you can see, it's possible to break the food down into pieces similar in size to Hikari's micro pellets, but I intentionally leave some powder. That fine powder stays suspended in the water column for a few minutes, giving baby fish a chance to feed, which is especially important to me, since I always have lots of fry from different species. This food doesn't cloud the water thanks to the natural binders used: psyllium husk, sweet potato flour, rice flour, and cornstarch. No preservatives were added. The fish at my local store loved it too. Even the neon tetras. Despite giving them a sinking disc meant for bottom feeders, even the American cyclists thought it was a great idea. Now it's time to chop all the vegetables. We're going to ferment them to increase their bioavailability and boost their nutritional value. Here's our veggie lineup. Squash provides beta carotene, a precursor to vitamin A, fiber, and energy. Zucchini, easy to digest, rich in B complex vitamins and natural moisture. Broccoli, green florets, a source of vitamins C and K, fiber, and antioxidant compounds. Spinach, high in iron, magnesium, plant-based calcium, and antioxidants. Peeled peas, a good source of plant protein, phosphorus, and soluble fiber. Fermenting the vegetable ingredients with brewer's yeast was a crucial step in our recipe. This natural fermentation process helps break down anti-nutrients, making minerals and vitamins more bioavailable for the fish. It also pre-digests complex plant fibers, improving digestibility and reducing intestinal stress. Additionally, brewer's yeast contributes beneficial enzymes, B complex vitamins, and even natural immune stimulants. Now place all the chopped vegetables into a jar, along with 1 spoonful of brewer's yeast, and keep it at a temperature of at least 25 degrees Celsius, 77 degrees Fahrenheit. The jar should have a small surface area and be covered with a breathable cloth to allow airflow. Let it ferment for 24 to 48 hours, but never longer than that. The protein sources in our recipe were chosen for their complementary nutritional profiles. We used 150 grams of salmon, a rich source of high-quality protein and essential omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA, which support immune function, brain development, and coloration. 50 grams of mussels were added for their natural content of taurine, zinc, and selenium, all crucial for metabolic function and antioxidant defense. 50 grams of shrimp with shells contribute not only additional protein but also astaxanthin, a powerful natural pigment and antioxidant, along with chitin, which supports digestion and gut health. Finally, 50 grams of insects provide a sustainable protein source that mimics the natural diet of many omnivorous fish, while also offering chitin and trace minerals. All protein ingredients are gently steamed for 10 minutes. This step ensures elimination of potential pathogens while preserving most of the heat-sensitive nutrients, unlike high-temperature cooking methods. Steaming also improves the digestibility of the proteins, making them more available to the fish. Now we're going to dry the shells of 5 eggs to make them more brittle and easier to break down in the blender. This will be our calcium supplement. However, if possible, I recommend using pre-ground eggshell powder, which is more consistent, though it's not always easy to find. I couldn't find any myself. So now we'll place the eggshells in the food dehydrator for 2 hours at maximum temperature. After 30 hours, our vegetables have been enhanced through fermentation. It's important to save the yeast liquid, as we'll use it later to help achieve the right consistency when mixing the final paste. We're going to cook the animal proteins for 10 to 15 minutes. It's also very important to peel all the peas, since they contain high levels of cellulose, which fish have a hard time digesting.
됐어?
Steaming has the advantage of preserving nutrients, since they're not lost to the water, and it also avoids exposing the food to excessively high temperatures. We'll also steam the vegetables, but only for 10 minutes. We chose to steam the vegetables for 10 minutes instead of using them raw to improve both safety and nutrient availability. Raw vegetables often contain anti-nutrients like oxalates, phytates, and enzyme inhibitors, which can block mineral absorption or irritate the digestive system of fish. Steaming helps to neutralize these compounds while preserving most vitamins. Additionally, gentle cooking softens plant cell walls, making the fiber and nutrients more accessible for digestion. This is especially important for omnivorous and small fish species that may struggle to digest raw, fibrous plant matter. In short, steaming improves safety, digestibility, and nutritional value, making the vegetables more functional and effective in the final feed. Here, I should point out a mistake. I should have blended the eggshells first before adding all the other ingredients. We used 100 grams of rice flour as the main structural base of the recipe. It's highly digestible, gluten-free, and helps form stable pellets without making them too hard. Unlike wheat or corn, rice flour doesn't foul the water and is gentle on digestion. It also provides clean carbohydrates and some B vitamins. Its role is essential to bind the mix and support pellet integrity, while keeping the feed light and balanced. We added 50 grams of cornstarch to improve pellet cohesion and water stability. Cornstarch acts as a natural binder, helping the ingredients stick together during shaping and drying. We used 85 grams of sweet potato flour to support both nutrition and pellet structure. Sweet potato is rich in complex carbohydrates, beta-carotene, and fiber, offering a slow-release energy source and natural antioxidant support. As a flour, it acts as a natural binder, helping to hold the pellets together while maintaining a soft, digestible texture. It also contributes to water stability without hardening the feed or affecting palatability. This ingredient plays a dual role. It enhances the nutritional profile with vitamins and minerals while also improving pellet cohesion and durability in water. We included 10 grams of psyllium husk to improve pellet cohesion and digestive health. Psyllium is a soluble fiber that swells and forms a gel-like texture when hydrated, which helps bind the ingredients together and create pellets that hold their shape in water. Beyond structure, psyllium supports the intestinal health of fish by promoting smooth digestion and helping regulate nutrient absorption. It also reduces waste disintegration, keeping the water cleaner for longer. This small addition significantly enhances both the physical integrity of the feed and the gut health of the fish. We added 15 grams of brewer's yeast for its rich content of B vitamins, enzymes, and amino acids. It enhances digestibility, immune function, and adds natural palatability to the feed. 5 grams of sweet paprika were included as a natural pigment source, carotenoids, to enhance fish coloration, while also contributing mild antioxidant and flavor benefits. We used 10 grams of beetroot powder, essentially dried beet juice, for its natural pigments and antioxidant content. It's rich in betalains and folate, which support cell health and immune function. Its mild sweetness also contributes to palatability, making the feed more attractive, especially for selective species. Be careful when handling beetroot. It stains everything it touches, and the color is really hard to remove, as I found out with my towel. Garlic powder was added for its natural antiparasitic and immune-boosting properties. It also enhances palatability, encouraging even shy fish to eat. Spirulina powder is a highly digestible superfood, rich in complete protein, chlorophyll, and natural pigments that boost immune response and improve coloration. Kelp powder provides a rich source of iodine, magnesium, and trace minerals essential for thyroid function, metabolism, and overall vitality. It also supports shell development in shrimp and snails. All these ingredients weren't exactly cheap, but the amounts used are enough to make several batches of 500 grams, which actually makes this food cheaper than most high-quality commercial options. Now it's time to add the eggshells, which really should have been added at the beginning, but I got distracted and ended up throwing them in at the end. In the final mix, you might notice some visible pieces of eggshell. They're nutritionally irrelevant, but still a bit annoying to see. A small amount of coconut powder was added to contribute dietary fiber, mild energy, and a subtle aromatic profile that helps enhance palatability without overwhelming the formula. We also included 3 types of edible seaweed, including sea lettuce, ulva, and sea spaghetti, Himanthalia elongata. These seaweeds provide natural minerals like iodine, calcium, and iron, while also enriching the flavor and texture of the pellets. Their addition supports metabolic health and helps make the feed more appealing and natural tasting for omnivorous species. Although our recipe includes a wide variety of high-quality vegetables, proteins, and seaweeds, we still chose to supplement with selenium, vitamin K2, MK7, and vitamin C. These nutrients are routinely supplemented in aquaculture feeds based on well-documented scientific findings. Studies in aquaculture nutrition have shown that these micronutrients are not consistently present in adequate levels in raw ingredients. Selenium is essential for antioxidant defense and immune regulation, but is often low or highly variable in natural feed components. Vitamin K2, MK7, plays a key role in calcium transport and bone integrity, and its absence is linked to skeletal deformities in farmed fish. Vitamin C is heat sensitive and cannot be synthesized by fish, so it must be provided in a stable, bioavailable form to support tissue repair, immunity, and stress resistance. These specific additions ensure that our feed meets the micronutrient standards observed in scientific aquaculture formulations. So now we're going to crush half a tablet of a human-grade selenium supplement, 2.5 tablets of vitamin K2, and about 5 grams of vitamin C, roughly 1 teaspoon. This is one of the key parts of the recipe, the part that truly sets it apart from regular fish food. The addition of selenium was, in my view, extremely important. It's the same approach used in aquaculture to address bone formation issues in farmed fish. Problems very similar to the ones my own fish faced, as you saw at the beginning of this video. Now we're going to add the steamed vegetables. All the liquid is welcome. It's full of nutrients. Next, add about 100 milliliters of the fermentation liquid to the mix. For this step, you'll need a powerful food processor. We're going to blend everything as thoroughly as possible to ensure an even distribution of all ingredients. In my case, I blended until the machine overheated and shut off. It's important not to leave too much water in the paste, but it still needs some moisture, which is why we add the fermentation liquid instead of plain water. Now we start blending until we reach a smooth, uniform paste. It's important to pause occasionally to check the consistency, and if needed, add a bit more fermentation liquid to get the texture just right. Don't try this recipe with a weak food processor. The paste is quite thick and requires a powerful machine to handle it properly. Finding the right density in the paste is crucial. It's also important not to overhydrate the mix, because the drying process shouldn't take too long. As you'll see next, we've now finished with a thick paste, and we can start shaping it into discs and pellets. The eggshell wasn't fully broken down because I made the mistake of not blending it separately at the start. Also, I forgot to add 50 grams of insects, so we'll add them in now. I later blended them off camera. The best way to handle the paste at this stage is by hand. Here, we're going to flatten and compress the paste thoroughly. I used a hammer for this step, but it's totally optional. You can easily do it entirely by hand. Any lid or small tube can be used for this, but the molds are cheap and make the job easier. This fish food was designed to work both as discs for bottom feeders and as pellets. We'll start by placing the discs on the trays of the food dehydrator. The drying process takes about 12 hours at 50 degrees Celsius, 122 degrees Fahrenheit. Keeping the temperature low is important to preserve the nutrients in the food. Fortunately, I had the help of my wife for this part. In my case, I used a food dehydrator, but a kitchen oven set to the lowest temperature with the door slightly open can achieve similar results. One by one, we'll shape our discs for bottom feeders. Next, we'll form small tubes, which are meant to be broken down later into pellets, but they can also be used for bottom-dwelling fish and suction-mouth species. We're using a potato masher to shape the paste, but this step can easily be done by hand as well. Just form small rolls to allow for proper drying. A thorough drying process is crucial, since this food contains no preservatives whatsoever. While making this food, I noticed that both thick and thin tubes worked well. This is definitely the most labor-intensive part of the process. All the food should be evenly spread out on the trays to ensure proper drying. In my case, I let it dry for 12 hours. We dried the feed for 12 hours at 50 degrees Celsius, 122 degrees Fahrenheit, to preserve nutritional quality while ensuring stability. This low-temperature dehydration process is important because it removes moisture to prevent spoilage, but without exposing the ingredients to high heat that could destroy sensitive nutrients like vitamins. Water is one of the greatest enemies of food preservation. Moisture promotes the growth of bacteria, fungi, and spoilage organisms, which can quickly degrade the quality and safety of fish food. By thoroughly drying the feed, we remove excess water and create an environment where microbial activity is minimized, greatly extending the shelf life. This step is essential to prevent mold, rancidity, and nutrient loss, especially since our recipe contains no artificial preservatives. This machine is very simple to use. Basically, it works like a mini low-temperature oven with strong ventilation. Now we'll let the machine run overnight at 50 degrees Celsius, 122 degrees Fahrenheit. 12 hours should be enough, but as a rule of thumb, drier is always better than not dry enough. If too much moisture remains, it will compromise the already short shelf life of this preservative-free food. Now that the food is fully dried, we move on to one of the most important steps in the entire process: the addition of probiotics in fish oil along with live bacteria. Lactobacillus rhamnosus GG and Bacillus subtilis. Rosemary oil was added to help preserve the fish oil, preventing it from going rancid. Astaxanthin powder is also heat sensitive, so it's applied at this final stage as well, along with the probiotics. These strains naturally live in fish intestines and are extremely beneficial for their immune system. We only add these bacteria at the very end because they're heat sensitive and would definitely die during the drying phase. By applying them in fish oil, we not only protect them, but also avoid water, since these bacteria are in a dormant state and get activated by moisture. That's why they must be added in oil, not water. Now we'll pour about 15 milliliters of fish oil into a bowl and add 1 capsule of each bacterial strain as shown in the video. We'll need a clean brush, one that's never been used for anything else. Hikari's micropellets also include Bacillus subtilis, and we'll be adding our own probiotics along with a small amount of astaxanthin, a premium ingredient that's often found in the best quality fish foods, though it can be quite expensive. Just 2 drops of rosemary oil can make a big difference in slowing the oxidation of fats and oils. Now, using a clean brush, we'll apply our probiotic solution evenly to all the pieces. This technique is designed to protect all the heat-sensitive elements, like the probiotics, by avoiding any exposure to high temperatures during drying. Only after all the food pieces, tubes and discs, have been brushed with the probiotic solution, we move on to the final drying step, 30 minutes at the lowest possible temperature, just to set the coating without putting the bacteria at risk. These same bacteria are also added to some advanced aquaculture feeds. And once again, I had the help of my wife for this step. After brushing all the pieces, we'll reassemble the food dehydrator and do the final drying step. 30 to 40 minutes at 35 degrees Celsius, 95 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the lowest setting on this machine. Finally, our premium fish food is ready. And it's time for the final step. We'll sprinkle spirulina powder over all the pieces. It will stick to the fish oil coating so it won't cloud the water. Besides being a superfood, spirulina also acts, surprisingly, as a natural binder. Spirulina is an ultra-fine hygroscopic powder that absorbs moisture and builds up static electricity. Its proteins and polysaccharides act like natural glue, making it cling to surfaces. Now I place all the food on a sheet of paper and sprinkle spirulina powder evenly across it. The spirulina sticks to the fish oil from the probiotic solution, creating a surprisingly strong adhesion and forming a clean, nutrient-rich final layer. Repeat this process for all the discs and all the food tubes. If this food were stored normally, exposed to oxygen, it wouldn't last more than 2 weeks. That's why we're using vacuum sealing and refrigeration. Refrigeration is especially important in hot climates, but in colder countries, vacuum sealed bags can be stored at room temperature. as long as they're kept out of direct sunlight. It's important to prevent ice crystals from forming directly on the food, which is another reason why vacuum bags are so useful. They eliminate air, reducing moisture contact and preventing freezer burn. Never store everything in a single vacuum bag. Dividing the food into multiple smaller bags is important to avoid exposing the entire batch to oxygen once opened. Since this food contains no preservatives, its shelf life is limited. However, thanks to the dehydration and vacuum sealing, it can last around 6 months unopened, and up to 2 years if stored in the fridge. Vacuum sealing is a crucial step in preserving the quality and shelf life of the fish food. By removing oxygen from the storage environment, we prevent the oxidation of fats, the degradation of sensitive nutrients, and the growth of aerobic microbes that cause spoilage. In food preservation, oxygen and water are the two main enemies. Oxygen accelerates rancidity, especially in oils like fish oil, and destroys vitamins such as A, C, and E. Moisture promotes bacterial and fungal growth, leading to rapid spoilage. By combining proper dehydration with vacuum sealing, we eliminate both of these threats. In the end, we produced around 500 grams of premium quality fish food, nutrient-dense, vacuum-sealed, and ready for refrigeration. Carefully formulated with whole ingredients, fortified with essential vitamins and minerals, and preserved without artificial additives. This feed is designed to support optimal fish health, growth, and vitality. A complete, stable, and superior alternative to most commercial options. Now I'm going to show you how to break down the feed logs and shape them into pellets. This step is simple but important to get the right size and texture, especially if you want micro pellets for small or bottom feeding fish. In this case, I'll be using a regular rolling pin and a standard kitchen tray. It's a simple method, but it works well to flatten the feed and create micro pellets with the perfect texture, firm but easy to crush between the fingers. It's especially useful for me to break the food down into micro pellets or even powder, since I have baby fish with very small mouths that require fine particles for proper feeding and growth. This flexibility makes the recipe ideal for all life stages. I have to give a lot of credit to artificial intelligence for making this possible. The level of scientific support, nutritional insight, and structured reasoning it provided was essential throughout the entire process. It shows how human curiosity, combined with deep AI knowledge, can lead to truly great things, even in areas as niche as homemade fish nutrition. This recipe is the result of that powerful collaboration. This is the final result, and each vacuum-sealed bag contains about 70 grams of fish food. Now I'll demonstrate how this food doesn't cloud the water and can be made in a variety of pellet sizes. Some are small and float, making them perfect for baby fish and species with tiny mouths. Just like the famous micro pellets from Hikari, one of the best fish food brands in the world. This food is superior to most commercial fish feeds because it combines both high nutritional quality and versatile form. Thanks to its flexible texture, it can be shaped into discs for bottom feeders or micro pellets for small and mid-water species. This makes it suitable for a wide range of omnivorous fish, from fry to adults, while maintaining excellent water stability and digestibility. Only a true fish lover would go to such lengths to create this kind of food. From carefully selecting each ingredient to steaming, fermenting, blending, drying, and forming pellets, this is not just fish food. It's a commitment to giving your fish the best possible nutrition. It's the kind of effort that reflects genuine care and respect for their health and well being.